Hello there. Thank you so much for joining us. This is News Channel Nebraska. My name's Eric McKay. Let's take a look at our top headlines today. Beginning with a post made to a Nebraska-based school app that's put multiple districts across the state on high alert. Parents in multiple school districts, including Omaha, Lincoln, and Norfolk public schools, among others, received notifications from district officials overnight regarding a post on the Nebraska Safe to Help app. The post warned individuals to stay home from school Thursday because of a threat to safety. The message did not contain any specific information related to any school districts. In a message sent to parents late Wednesday, Norfolk Public School Principal Jason Sept said police investigated the threat and found there was no viable threat to student safety. Sept said multiple agencies across the state are also investigating the post. This follows what district officials said was a threat of violence at Columbus Middle School earlier this week and a shooting at Omaha Northwest High School on Tuesday. As for Safe to Help, that's an app designed by the state of Nebraska to allow students, staff, and parents to report concerning behavior anonymously. As for that shooting at Northwest, the public defender for the 14-year-old accused of shooting another student said in court Wednesday afternoon that the teen had been bullied to the point of securing an early release from school for his own safety. The 14-year-old suspect has been charged as an adult with felony assault and weapon charges. Douglas County Attorney Don Klein said that while there are still a lot of details left to sort out, the severity of the crime in his eyes warrants charging the teen as an adult. The teen's being held in the Douglas County Youth Center on $275,000 bond. That's ahead of a preliminary hearing on October 16th. Francine is now a tropical storm after making landfall as a Category 2 hurricane on Wednesday. The storm's the first hurricane to make landfall in Louisiana since Ida in 2021, but it's the third hurricane to make landfall in the U.S. this year. Ivan Rodriguez is in Morgan City, Louisiana, with the latest.
After making landfall Wednesday in southern Louisiana as a Category 2 hurricane, Francine is weakening and continuing to push inland. But the Pelican State is already soaked. Torrential downpours sending floodwaters down roads in several parishes.
I'm just trying to get to work. I'm sure plenty of other people are trying to get to work too. And, it just takes a while for this water to get out of here.
Some homes flooded.
We even had our protective dam up. We even had the sandbags up.
And all of a sudden we saw water starting to come in from all different areas of the house.
New Orleans seeing more than a month of rainfall from Francine. The storm leaving widespread power outages in its wake.
People are inside right now. Let the linemen and all do their jobs.
Tropical storm warnings remaining Thursday for millions across several states. Louisiana's governor calling for residents to be smart and stay safe as flooding, heavy winds, and storm surge levels up to 8 feet are still significant threats.
I want to remind all of the citizens that now is the time to begin to stay off of the roadways, stay home, and stay put.
In Morgan City, Louisiana, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Residents all over Nebraska found ways to commemorate the 9/11 anniversary. On Wednesday, in the capital city, residents came to Veterans Memorial Garden in Antelope Park to listen to the names of Nebraskans involved in the rescue efforts that day. Following that ceremony, a wreath was placed, giving visitors a moment to reflect on the sacrifices made. In Norfolk, Fire Department and Parks and Recreation officials hosted a memorial stair climb at Veterans Memorial Field. The event was initiated with a ceremonial bell ringing by former Norfolk Fire Chief and current State Fire Marshal Scott Cordes. Over 100 people took part, a turnout that was appreciated by Norfolk firefighters.
Tonight was super special for us. It was great to be out in the community. It was awesome to see all the support, see everybody support this event and what it means to a lot of people. And it was great to see everybody experience something that may have been experienced to those firefighters, paramedics, police officers, and anybody there that day.
In central Nebraska, the city of Hastings held its second annual 9/11 ceremony. First responders from around the area joined with members of the community at New Hope Baptist Church. Readings describing each crash and the collapse of the towers were followed by a ceremonial bell ringing. A New Hope pastor, Eddie Goff, is also the chaplain for Hastings Fire and Police Departments. He's organized the event each of the last 2 years and says he plans to continue to do so in the future. Meanwhile, residents in North Platte took part in a different kind of stair climb, walking the equivalent of more than 100 floors on the stair machines at the North Platte Anytime Fitness. This was the 6th year that Anytime Fitness has hosted the 2,000 step tribute. Others found different ways to give back on the 9/11 anniversary. The Lincoln County Battle of the Badges blood drive was hosted by the American Red Cross in Lincoln. The blood drive pits North Platte Police and North Platte Fire against each other in a friendly competition to see who can donate more blood. It also serves the larger purpose of helping others with a critical need for blood nationwide.
It's the blood on the shelves today that saves a life today. So if there is, a big disaster or a bad accident, if you come in and donate blood the next day or the day after, that blood, it takes time for us to collect it, to process it, to get it shipped to the hospitals. So it's the blood that's here today that's going to save a life today.
Wayne said 42 units of blood were collected total, with North Platte Police coming out on top for the 2nd straight year. Well, after 19 years under the leadership of the same city manager, the city of Kearney is now in transition. Michael Shively sat down with the new city manager and talked with her about what's next.
When Brenda Jensen started working at the Kearney city offices 6 years ago, she didn't foresee that she would one day hold the top non-elected post in the city.
Council chambers, will you take roll, please?
Jensen started as development services director with a community planning background. The city manager job wasn't on her radar.
I didn't realize I'd have so much of a passion working in local government. I know I like communities, but to me those were a little different. And so my 6 years here, I've learned that no, they're not.
Jensen is originally from Iowa, drawn to central Nebraska by her now husband, Dalton Jensen, UNK's national championship winning wrestling coach.
It's just truly become our home. I don't know how else to say it other than we can't imagine leaving. Kearney's such a special place.
The version of Kearney that Jensen knows took shape largely under the direction of her predecessor, 19-year city manager Mike Morgan. He left her with a message before he retired at the start of the year.
I didn't have to be him, but I could make this my own. I could make this role my own. And he always said, take the good and leave the bad.
Now, Jensen plans to implement one of those good ideas to help shape the next version of Kearney. When Morgan first started, he hosted a series of listening sessions called Kearney Tomorrow.
I think the listening sessions were probably the most important thing that we have done over the 19 years.
He compiled a book of 1,500 resident suggestions that guided his next 2 decades. Jensen hopes to initiate a new series of listening sessions this winter.
And so I think we need to go back and say, hey, Kearney community, what is next? What do we want the next 10 to 20 years of Kearney to look like? And I, as city manager, might have ideas about what that is, but I think it's important that we listen to the community about what they want.
2, 3. A series of major projects will reach completion in 2025. The Kearney Sportsplex will open, as will 2 hotels, part of Eunice Landing, the Museum of Nebraska Art expansion, and a pair of cancer centers. The first-year city manager says it's not time to rest on Kearney's accomplishments.
I don't think you catch your breath. I think that's how Kearney's been successful, is it's always been what's next. And so I think it's important that we keep the foot on the pedal.
In Kearney, Michael Shively, News Channel, Nebraska.
A new study says parents who spend a lot of time on screens instead of interacting with their kids could be hindering their children's language development. That study was published Thursday in the academic journal Frontiers in Psychology. Researchers surveyed more than 400 parents of kids between the ages of 2.5 and 4 years old, and they found that parents who used screens more had children who used screens more, and those children had lower aptitude in grammar and vocabulary. The data also showed that watching screens doesn't help children's language skills. Research suggests parents should try not to spend too much time on devices when they're with their kids. Experts say verbal interactions with parents are one of the important ways that children learn language. And you might think that if you lost the ability to use your legs in a car accident, you might stay away from anything having to do with vehicles for a while. But one southeast Nebraska woman is traveling in the opposite direction. Tim Hackett has more.
Dozens of awards were bestowed upon the region's best vehicles at the 13th annual Fairbury Car Show right here in front of the Jefferson County Court building in Fairbury this weekend. And one of those awards was presented by a lifelong Fairburyan with a unique connection to cars. Amanda Snook has been coming to the Fairbury Car Show with her family since its inception. And since 2020, she's been part of the festivities in a different way, as a guest judge. In December 2017, Amanda was in an accident where the truck she was driving flipped and landed with her half in and half out of the door, leaving her paralyzed from the waist down.
I had to learn how to do everything from a wheelchair, including like cooking, doing laundry, and at the time I had 3 young boys. So it was very overwhelming and scary, but I am very fortunate that I am alive.
A Fairbury native, after she was named Miss Wheelchair Nebraska in 2020, Amanda was invited back to the Fairbury Car Show as a guest judge, where she now annually presents the Amanda's Choice Award to the vehicle of her choosing. While some of the other awards are decided by specific criteria, Amanda says her award goes to a vehicle and a person with a compelling story. Raising 3 boys alongside her husband Brian, cars have always been a big part of Amanda's life. And even after a vehicle crash nearly took her life, she plans to keep giving back to her community by participating in one of its biggest events, one that celebrates cars of all kinds.
I've always chosen to have a positive attitude about it because, I mean, I could have died that night and I could be missing out on all my boys' stuff. So I am just very thankful that I am able to be here.
From collecting Hot Wheels toys for her sons to evaluating cars, trucks, and bikes at a car show, Amanda and her family have always been around cars. And she says she'll continue to be a judge at the Fairbury Car Show anytime she's asked. In Fairbury, Tim Hackett, News Channel, Nebraska.
And you can stay up to date with the very latest by following us online. Head to newschannelnebraska.com and click on the news tab there. You can also follow us on X, like us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.